Hello everyone, so today we're going to be discussing your final term or midterm class 7 exam syllabus topics. Now we're just going to begin with one of your most important chapters, which is area, volume and perimeter. Now when I'm speaking about areas, volumes and perimeters, I'm thinking about a shape most frequently, right? So let's assume that there's a shape like this. We call this a square. What we know about the square is all sides of the square are equal. So if I assume that this side is 4, this means all the sides are going to be 4. So if I add all the sides together, I'll get the outer mass of the square, which is called the perimeter. It is the sum of all sides. So if you were asked what is a perimeter, we can say that the perimeter is the sum of all the sides. So now let's get into a question. Let's say, what is the area of a rectangle? I'm sorry, my rectangle is not that accurate. There's a 6 over here and it's 5 over there. This means that all sides of the rectangle that are opposite to each other are equal. So if this is 6, then this is also 6. If this is 5, this is also 5. So the perimeter of the rectangle will be 6 plus 5 into 2, which is 26. This is a method of finding out whatever it is for a rectangle. Now, how are we going to find out the area of the rectangle? We're just going to multiply 5 into 6, and I'll get 30 centimeters square, for example. And the perimeter must be 26 centimeters. Now this is area and perimeter, but how about the volume? Volume only applies to 3D shapes. So over here, I'll assume I have a cuboid over there. So a cuboid is supposed to be equal in all sides and all vertices. So it's 6 over here, 6 over there, and 6 over there. So I'll just multiply 6 into 6 into 6, and I'll get 216 centimeter cube if the unit is centimeters. If it's not, I can just write 216 unit cube if the value is not given. Now, how about we do it in a cuboid? It's very simple, it's very easy, it's very similar to that of a cube. So let's say that this part of the rectangle is 5 over here, the height is 4, and the breadth, let's say it's 7. So I'll just do 5 times 4 times 7 to find the area, and the area is going to be 20 into 7, which is 140 centimeters cube. If you have any questions about the cube and the cuboid, you can just ask me. Now let's focus on the perimeters first. So let's say I am given an equilateral triangle. An equilateral triangle has 3 sides. So if this is 3 sides, this is also going to be 3. So the perimeter is going to be 9. Now how am I going to find the area of the triangle? I will need the height. So let's assume that the height is 4 over here. The formula for finding the area of an equilateral or a triangle is going to be half times base into height. So half times 3, which is the base over here, times the height, which is 4. So I'll just multiply with 4. Then I'll get 12 into half, which is 6 centimeters, let's say square. Okay? Now, let's go to our next shape. Alright guys, now let's move on to our next shape. This shape is known as a parallelogram. Now you may ask, how do I find the perimeter of a parallelogram? It is very similar to a rectangle. Let's say this is 6 centimeters, this is 4. I'll just multiply 2 times 6 plus 4, and I'll get 20, which is the perimeter of the parallelogram. It's very simple. Now how do I find out the area of the parallelogram? To find the area, I'll just multiply height into base, which is 4 times 6, and I'll get 24. It's as easy as that. Now, to our next shape where most of the people face problems is the circle. The formula for the area of a circle is always pi r squared. You may ask what is the value of pi. It can be written as 3.142, or you can also write it more accurately as 22 by 7. Now, if I multiply 22 by 7 into r, you may ask what is the r. So to get in more details, let's say I have a dot in the middle of the circle. If I draw a line which is straight right in the middle of the circle, this is called the radius. If I cut another radius on the other side, this is going to add the two radiuses together, which is going to create the diameter. The diameter is twice the radius. So whenever we're multiplying to find the area of a circle, I'll multiply 22 by 7 times the radius squared. So let's say the radius of this shape is 4. So I'll just multiply 4 square, or 16. So it's going to be 3.142 times 16. And I'll be getting a value of about, let's say, 48.6. Now guys, over here, 48.6 is not the exact value. I'm just assuming this without the calculator, because I multiplied 3 times 16 and I'll get 48. Now, it's going to be about 48.5 or 48.4 in the calculator, so do use your calculator in your exams. Now, what is the formula to find the perimeter, or the outside part of the circle? To find the outside part, we use the formula 2 pi r, or 2 times 22 by 7 times the radius. So let's say the radius of this circle is 5. So I'll just multiply 5 with it. I'll get 2 times 3.14, let's say, into 5. I'll get a value of 31.4. It can be cm square, or it can be unit square, whatever you want. So this is how you find the perimeter of a circle. Now, let's give you another question just in case you forget. This is the diameter, and I've got 8 in the diameter. What is the radius, and how to find the perimeter and area of this circle? First, we use the formula 2 pi r for perimeter. So 2 times 22 by 7, which is pi, into the radius. Since 8 is the diameter, then half of 8 will be 4, which is the radius. So it's going to be 6.28 into 4, which is 24.8, if I'm going to assume correct. This is the perimeter. Now, what is the area? Area is pi r squared, so 22 by 7 times 16 is going to get me how much? 48.5, let's say. Okay? Now, this is it for the circle. If you can solve this much, that means you know what a circle is. Now, let's get in more depth with a semicircle. What is the formula for finding the area of a semicircle? It is half pi r squared. As it's half the circle, it has half the area. And this is the area, so it is half that of a full circle. So, to find out the area of a semicircle with the diameter of 10 centimeters, I'll just use half times 22 by 7 times 5 square, as 5 will be the radius here. So it's going to be 12.5 into 3.142, which is about, I would say, 38.3 or something. Use your calculator to get the exact values. I'm just assuming them. Please do use your calculators. Repeat again. Now, how to find the perimeter of a semicircle? You will have multiple confusions. People may think that since 2 pi r is that of a full circle, then pi r is that of a half circle. But no, you have a diameter over here. And the diameter of the circle has become a part of the perimeter because it's part of the outside length. So it's going to be pi r plus diameter, or pi r plus 2r. Okay? So over here, let's say the diameter was 8. I'll just use 22 by 7 times 4 plus 8. So it's going to be about 20 point, let's say 20.4 for the perimeter of this semicircle. Now, what about a quarter circle? So it's gonna be shaped like, let's say, like this. So if it's 4 over here, it's gonna be 4 over there too. So I'll just use the formula 1 by 2 into pi r plus diameter. This is half that of the perimeter of a semicircle, so I'm gonna use half. So if the radius is 4, I'll use half into 22/7 times 4 plus 8. So I'll get the value of about 14.3 if I'm correct. Alright guys, so now to get more complex, I'll just draw a rectangle over here, for example. Now, to make it complex, I added a semicircle on top. So we are to find the perimeter and area of this following shape. And in the question, you're given 8 and 5 for the rectangle. So of course, this is also going to be 5, and this is also going to be 8. So if I'm to find the perimeter, I'll just add both of them together. Over here, the semicircle will be counted as pi r because I do not need the diameter. The diameter is not part of the perimeter here. So pi r is going to give me the value of 22/7 times 4, which is the radius, plus the other perimeters, which is 18. So over here, it's going to be 18 plus 12.8. So I'll just get 30.8, for example. And if you're using a calculator, you get about 30.5 or 30.6. But I'll just use my own mental mathematical equation. It's not gonna be 38, I'll just tell you that. And of course, it's just gonna be the outside range. This is the outside parts of the semicircle. So the correct answer would be this. If you have any questions, you can just ask me in my DMs. I'm always there. Now, I have another shape to give you guys. Let's say I have to give you the area of that shape. So if I'm to find the area of the shape, I'll just find the area of both the shapes together. So if the semicircle's area formula is half pi r square, I'll just use half into 22/7 times 16. So I'll just get about 25 point something or 24 point something. So if I get that correct, that is the semicircle's area, and with that I'll add 5 into 8, which is 40. So I'll get about 64 till 66, or about, let's say, 64.2 centimeter square as the area of the full shape. Okay, this was it for this much of area, volume, perimeter. Now you may ask about the more complex shapes. I will be sending you guys a video on that one tomorrow. Till then, best of luck, guys.